It's your girl Sun Kisses, and you already know I'm back with another video. So today we're talking about Tyra Banks. Why? Because she's next on the canceled list, okay? She is currently in the process. The cancel council is currently working on canceling her, and I wanted to discuss why she's being canceled. Okay, so who is Tyra Banks? Because I feel like a lot of us know who Tyra Banks is, but it's okay if some of us don't. So Tyra Banks, who is she? She is model, actress, TV show creator, producer, talk show host, and mother. So she seems like a pretty amazing woman. So why the heck is Tyra Banks canceled? I'll tell you why. She is canceled because of all the problematic BS. Okay, so here were some of the tweets that I was able to dig up in regards to people talking all about Tyra, and some of these are actually hilarious. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I don't know if you've watched America's Next Top Model, but Tyra Banks is pretty much canceled because of that show. America's Next Top Model is a show that she created and she produced. It is a show where models or wannabe models, they come on the show and they pretty much get chosen to compete to be the winner. The winner gets a contract with CoverGirl. It's always been a contract with CoverGirl. The winner always gets a contract with CoverGirl. All I know is that they get a contract with CoverGirl. That is the truth. In the show, they have a lot of these challenges, and the challenges are always like super hard. Most of the challenges were always ended up with some of the models being disrespected, sick, depressed, and I can go on and on and on and on and on. A lot of these clips are like resurfacing onto the internet, and a lot of people on Twitter have so much to say about it as if they haven't seen the show when they were younger. But you know what, it's okay, because I watched the show too when I was a child, and none of these things ever popped into my head. There's only one thing that I felt as a child that was problematic to me when I used to watch America's Next Top Model. That one thing that I noticed was how they always shave the African girl's hair. There's always that one African girl. There's always other black girls on the show, right? But there's one African girl, right? One who's obviously African, and they always shave her motherfucking head off every single season. So what I'm actually gonna do towards the end of the video is actually I picked 7 top problematic things that happen in America's Next Top Model throughout the freaking decades, and I picked the seven worst things that I'm actually going to go over with you guys. So recently, Tyra actually came out with an apology in regards to all the conversation that is revolving around her and America's Next Top Model, and this is what she has to say for it. I'm gonna read off of my journal. She said, "Been seeing the posts about the insensitivity of some past America's Next Top Model moments, and I agree with you. Looking back, those were some really off choices. Appreciate your honest feedback, and I'm sending so much love and virtual hugs." Basically, she said, I know y'all are upset about the things that went down in the past, but I can't change it. She agrees that it was messed up, but she can't change it. Right? Or does she agree that it's messed up? Or is she just acting like she agrees with us so that people can stop talking about her? Because nobody wants to be canceled. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter who you are. Nobody wants to be canceled, okay? Because celebrities talk about it all the time, about being canceled. So, like, you can tell that's at the top of their list. Like, they don't want to be freaking canceled. When I first read Tyra's apology initially, I was like, you know what? Like, I understand, like, there's really not much that she can say. At least she apologized. What can she do? She can't go back and change things that happened in the past. But then I was like, you know, I still want to do this video, and I still want to talk about her being canceled. And I also wanted to, you know, talk about a few situations that happened in the show that were super problematic. And as I was like actually like doing the research, I was just like kind of getting mad. I was actually kind of getting upset because I was like, okay, I know she apologized, but like, yo, we're gonna need more than an apology. Because after I go through some of the list of things that have happened, that have occurred on the show, I'm just like, why is Tyra Banks still even popular? You know what I mean? Like, why is she even still respected? The way she disrespected a lot of the girls, you know, even some of the men, once they started doing the show, when they started including men, the way she disrespected some of those people who are actually human beings just like her is insane. I know there's just really not much she can do. She can't go back and change anything, but I'm gonna need her to do a little bit more. I'm gonna need her to tweet every single person that she disrespected, or call them up, or send them some money, or do something to show that she really is truly sorry. Because like most of those things are just, most of the situations are just uncalled for on all levels. Of course, you had Janice Dickinson. I don't like Janice Dickinson. Janice Dickinson actually looked like Caitlyn Jenner. Because sometimes I look at Caitlyn Jenner, woo! Because sometimes I look at Caitlyn Jenner. I can't talk, you guys. And I'm like, wow, she looks like Janice Dickinson. Or I see a picture of Janice Dickinson, and I'm like, yo, she looks like Caitlyn Jenner. That's crazy. Okay, so let's get into 7 problematic things that happen in America's Next Top Model, shall we? Because Tyra, you dead wrong. I got my little list right here. If you see me looking down, it's because obviously I'm not gonna remember it from the top of my head. Number 7. I grouped this into 2 and 1 because I felt like they're kind of both the same thing in a sense. So in 2005, they had a different ethnicities shoot. And in 2009, they had a blending cultures shoot. Ethnicity shoot, basically they were changing the ethnicities of the models. I don't know who made up this challenge. I don't know who made up these shoots. I don't know if this all came from Tyra's head. I'm gonna think that it didn't. The models, they changed their ethnicities. So for example, if you were a white model, they may have turned you into a black girl, or if you were black, they may have somehow turned you into a white girl, or you Asian or Spanish, or you know. So that was just all messed up, especially looking back, being in 2020, because I remember this shoot and I didn't think anything of it.
You see this? Insanity. Insanity.
You know what I mean? Obviously, now that's not something that is acceptable at all, and it's not okay. I don't see the point. Like, it's so crazy because we are all told that models, they just have to come as they are. The beauty about being a model is that they don't have to change who you are. You can just come as you are, and they see you for your natural beauty. So for them to really turn around and do a shoot where they try to change ethnicities and then rate them on how great they look as a different ethnicity, is just is basura, okay? And the blending cultures shoots, this one was a little different, right? No, okay? So basically it was the same thing. The only thing that was different was that they literally blended 2 ethnicities together. So basically it's like some of the models were still partaking in blackface, you know what I mean, or whiteface or whatever face, like, because they were trying to change the way that they look so they can look like they were a blend of 2 different cultures. That is also not okay. On top of that, a lot of cultural appropriating was happening within that challenge, because we're talking about cultures now. We're not just talking about ethnicities, we're talking about cultures. So there were a lot of, like, you know, you had like the headdresses that that Native Americans would wear, or like a lot of like the cultural garments that like Japanese women would wear, like things like that, like they incorporated within this shoot, and it just wasn't okay. So you may have had a girl who was Native American and Asian, and somehow like they were able to put together a Native American Asian cultural outfit, which is stupid.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Look how pale she really is. And this right here, this actually just really looks like a hot mess. I just can't.
Number 6, in Cycle 7, Jada, oh, I love you too. When Jada had to do a film with a racist. Okay, so let me pretty much give you like a really small background on what happened here. I believe they were in Spain. basically it was one of those challenges where they had to like show that they were good actresses. And so Jada was partnered up with this guy who was not an America's Next Top Model, who was just a random model, or a random actress that she had to act with. But the thing was, he was racist and he told her that he did not like black women. Within that challenge, not only did she have to work with him and act with him, she had to kiss him as well, and she did not feel comfortable with that. Like, I remember at the elimination, when she was discussing how uncomfortable she was, Miss J was basically like, what does that have to do with you? I mean, I don't think those were her words, but basically it's like, why do you care? That's pretty much what Miss J was pretty much saying about that. Like, why do you care? Like, why wouldn't she care? Half of the things that the models had to go through, would the judges even have wanted to go through that themselves? I'm sure they don't, because they have a lot of self-respect. But you want models that have no self-respect. It's not crazy. Number 5. I forgot what season this was, but I was definitely either in 5th or 6th grade, because I remember when this came out. So either it came out 2005, sometime between 2004 to 2006. I don't know which season that was. I'm so sorry, guys. Kenya, one of the models, I think they were in South Africa. Like, I actually remember this. Like, I actually remember they were in like South Africa, and Kenya, she had to do a shoot with another male model who also was not in America's Next Top Model, but he was just a model that she was working with. And he was like moaning in her ear, grunting in her ear, and just like saying a lot of inappropriate things to her. And she was extremely, extremely uncomfortable. She was not okay with it at all. I actually remember back to that scene, just how like not okay she was. And once again, Tyra and the rest of the judges' crew, they didn't seem to care. They blamed her for feeling uncomfortable about what he did. They didn't tell him not to be inappropriate to the models. They told her to relax.
Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of the shoot, but I thought this was interesting. I had no idea that they made her go out to dinner with him. Why did they make these girls so uncomfortable all the time?
I feel like they were just really showing you like how the model industry really is, and how much they actually don't really care about the female models, about anything that they go through, you know? That just says a lot. Number 4. When Yaya, again, I don't even know the season, I'm terrible. So Yaya was one of my favorites. I'm pretty sure she was in that music video with Fabulous. Oh, what was it? Every time I try to leave, something keeps holding me back. I'm pretty sure Yaya was in that music video. That's my girl. Oh my God, that's my song too. Anyway, Yaya was criticized for acting too African. I actually forgot about that scene. And when I was doing my research and that came up, I remember, and I just got so upset. Like, that was one of the main things where I was like, yo, F Tyra's apology. Because she really was out here disrespecting her own sister. Like, you know, telling her that she's acting too African. What is too African? Y'all mad? They were literally mad at her because she liked to represent where she comes from. Literally, they told her that it was overbearing.
And also during this scene, I remember Yaya was defending herself because she didn't understand why they were saying that.
Of course, like I said, Tyra, she never stood up for her. When has she ever stood up for anybody in America's Next Top Model? Never. The worst part about it all was that Yaya was forced to apologize. Forced to apologize for what, being herself? There was never a point in time where I thought that Yaya was trying too hard. Yes, I may have been younger when that season came out, but I was fully aware of everything that was happening, you know? Yes, some things may have went over my head, but trust me, I would have felt it, and I would have seen it if the girl was acting too African. Tyra, you acting too African. Every time you try to act like who you really are, it seems so fake. Tyra, I seen you when you was trying to sing Formation. Why did that sound so racially charged and you're black? Why did it feel so racist, but you're a black woman? It's something about you, girl. It's something about you, and I don't know what it is. And I think that has always been something about you, but you've just been so low-key. But look, everything comes to light. You know what I'm saying? It's now your turn, Tyra. It's now your turn for people to go in on you, because I guess you've just been under the radar for so long. Even when you was really popping, you just really been under the radar, and people haven't really been able to like say what they need to say about you, things that people deserve to know, because you really don't seem that great of a person when you really made young women go through so many things that you didn't even have to go through in the beginning of your modeling career. And I get it was all for show purposes, but like, I think it's deeper than that. I feel like for the girls who did not become models, like, no, they didn't become models, not hurt them, but I feel like their entire experience of being on the show was actually what hurt them the most. Even with Winnie Harlow, when she says that she doesn't feel like America's Next Top Model did anything for her, and then like, Tyra, you got mad, and then of course like a lot of people, the same people who are canceling you now, was like rooting for you, Tyra. They was just like, yeah, how dare Winnie say that, da, 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 when she really put you on the map, da, 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 da. Personally, I didn't even know Winnie Harlow was on America's Next Top Model. I only knew her because I just seen her pictures floating around all over social media. That's how I knew it was Winnie Harlow. I didn't know the girl was on America's Next Top Model. I didn't know Ebony Davis was on America's Next Top Model. She seems to be the only other person besides Eva who actually made a name off of that show. And there was like 50 seasons. You only got 2 girls that made a name for themselves. How is that? And we all know that reality TV is not something that you need to have under your belt if you actually want to make it in the entertainment industry. Don't go on a reality TV show. Please don't do it to yourself, okay? Number 3, Cycle 22. There's a deaf model. His name was Niall DeMarco, and he had to do a shoot in the dark. And within the shoot, he could not see, and he could not hear, obviously, because he's deaf, and he couldn't even communicate with the photographer because of how dark it was. Imagine how scary that is. Like, literally, the guy is deaf, and Tyra the show couldn't even respect him enough to even put him in a position that doesn't feel so life-threatening. I can only imagine how scared he was, you know? Like, I can only imagine how scared he was. That's so insensitive on so many levels. Speaking of insensitivity, that's when we get to number 2. This is another one where I'm putting 2 in 1. No, Tyra, she's like the most insensitive person in this. So I don't want to say Tyra. I don't want to say just Tyra because I know that she is not the mastermind, okay? I know she's not the mastermind of everything. But like I said, she is the face of the show. So when I say Tyra, just know that I'm actually talking about the entire America's Next Top Model and everyone that was involved in America's Next Top Model. But yeah, so just know that.
And it's funny because I pretty much actually just came across this tweet from Ken Mock, who was also working behind the scenes of America's Next Top Model, and he pretty much just confirmed everything I was just saying.
So we have number 2. Cycle 4 and Cycle 8. In Cycle 4, Kayla, one of the models, there was a challenge where they had to pose in a grave. Within this challenge, it was especially hard for Kayla because her friend literally had just died the day before, and they are forcing Kayla to do a shoot in a grave when the last thing she wants to think about in that moment is death. Insensitive, right? Then we have Cycle 8. There's JL, who also had to pose as a corpse after her friend died. My thing is, why are they having these models pose like they're dead? And what magazine have I opened it up and I was like, oh, a dead person. No, actually, it's a model. Oh my God, great. Like, for the most part, photo shoots are pretty normal. Like, you don't really have them do all this extra life-threatening things. Like, I really thought that models always had to do life-threatening things, but it was really because of America's Next Top Model. And then we have the most problematic issue of all. Number 1, I put this as number 1 because this one was actually really life-threatening. This was Cycle 7 when, I don't even have the name, I'm such a terrible journalist. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get better. The models had to pose in freezing water. And one of the models actually ended up getting hypothermia. Hypothermia. Believe that. Like, how in the world are you going to become a model when you're dead? Tyra, please let me know. Did you want to kill this girl? Did you want to kill these girls? Did you not want a winner this season? I just need to know like what the thought process was, because these are obviously humans. Obviously, if they're gonna do a shoot in freezing water, then it's possible that one could catch hypothermia. I'm sure the girls had to sign waivers and stuff saying that they can't sue America's Next Top Model because of blah 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 blah. Like, and no model thinks that they're gonna put themselves in any life-threatening situations. Like, I know that we've all watched America's Next Top Model, so of course, if you're gonna go on the show, you already know like the things that you're gonna get yourself into. But goddamn, like, almost dying to be a cover girl model. That contract better pay all your bills for the rest of your life. That's what I need to hear it say on the contract, because the things that they put the models through, it's not even worth it. Like, make it worth my while. Make it worth everybody's while, because it's worth nobody. It's worth nothing. I don't even think Tyra even thinks it's worth it at this point because of all this backlash that she's getting. Like, you really could have done better, you know? I think I remember a season, and I really could be dreaming, but I'm pretty sure there was a season where a girl got bit by a snake. One of the snakes that they wanted them to pose with bit a girl. Like, these girls are dying to be, it's just not. Thank God for Instagram. You just take your own pictures and get everybody to like you, because America's Next Top Model really got people effed up. And like, I was just always just too woke to be on that show. Like I said, just the fact that they always shaved the African girl's head, it just didn't sit right with me. I didn't like that, and I didn't want them to shave my head. So, I mean, I shaved my own head 3 years ago, but that's because it was my choice, not Tyra's choice. That's the problem. What do y'all think? I mean, do y'all think Tyra deserves to be canceled, or do you feel like her apology was genuine? I mean, you let me know your thoughts. I know that obviously she can't change the past, but something still doesn't sit right in my soul when I look back on everything that the show has caused, you know, young women and some young men. Like, it just didn't really seem worth it to me. And it obviously it was never worth it, because of most of these models, you don't see them after America's Next Top Model, like, ever, you know? So, like, yeah, let me know your thoughts below. You think she deserves to be uncanceled? You think she deserves to be canceled? Yeah, you already know. Sun kisses. Gotta go. Bye.